What's up, everybody, and welcome to Driving the Line, your number one sports betting show in all of the land, and it's not even close. Listen, we have a great show for you today. It's the day before the 4th of July, but it's a hump day. It's Wednesday here at Driving the Line. Before we get into the show, let's go ahead and take a look back at how we did yesterday. All right, we see some check marks up there, so we went 4-2, so not a bad day overall. I know there were some bad beats across the board, and obviously in the crew exclusive there were some as well, but the crew knocked it out of the park again and cashed that one. All right, let's get into our guy, our 5-tool player himself. I might have to wake him up a little bit. He's got the new lid. He's looking good. What's up, AB?
What's up, brothers? What's up, crew? How we doing today? Doing all right?
Good, man. I want to talk to you about LeBron. Is that okay?
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll give you something even better, man. Sitting there watching the Seattle Mariners last night. All right, let me just say, watching the Seattle Mariners hit is like being an Amish kid in timeout. There's nothing going on at all, man. That was a brutal watch. It's so wild that, and I know that they've had injuries and they're on a stretch here, where it's just been rough, man. But, dude, it's crazy to see a team that's projected and pacing at 100 wins. And I mean, it's a question if they'll even score a run every night. It's wild, man. I've never seen anything like it.
It's definitely wild. What's wild as well is your hat rack. A lot of people are asking, like how big is the hat rack? Are they just all over the house because you got a new lid? I love it.
Oh, man, I've got a million hats. You know what I mean? And look, just like any dude, man, it was like that was like just what you had like as a kid. You just wore hats all the time, So I've collected a nice bounty, I guess you could say.
Love it. All right, what else we love is the cruise play of the day. So what do we got here today?
All right. So okay, and everybody in the crew, let me know like how much like you like this format, right? Like we can change it up, but we have 2 games, 4 options. All right. Astros Blue Jays over 8, Astros Blue Jays under 8, Giants Braves over 7.5, Giants Braves under 7.5. Polls in the chat, vote now. And we will update as we always do at the end of the show. But yeah, like I was thinking of because there's really only MLB, WNBA, like a couple things, so soccer, obviously, right? I just don't. There's just not enough options there for poll wise. But like, if you guys want like parlays and stuff put in, I mean, just drop in the chat anything that you think of. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, especially right now in the dog days of summer. Like, if we can be a little bit more creative, if y'all have suggestions, let us know. If not, it's going to be, probably a simplicity right there that you have is more the over-under. It's an easy one, but I know the crew likes to get involved, and so we'll definitely do that. All right, great job on that. Let's go ahead and get into our other guys. I can't keep them waiting much longer. Let's go ahead and get into the picks. All right, look what we have here. Starting right under me, Raphael. Good morning.
Good morning, crew. Sorry I missed yesterday, but had to go see the family doctor. And AB, I have a quick story for you. I thought about you. Guy next to me in the doctor's office was getting screamed at by the doctor because he eats too much fried food. All I could think about was what would AB be doing right now? Just laughing. I've never heard a doctor yell at a patient before because so much fried food he ingests.
I've been there. It, you know what? Pray for that guy. He has an addiction. Taco Bell is real, folks.
Yeah, he's definitely running for the border often. All right, Chuck. Good morning. How are you?
Morning, DG, crew, chat. Yeah, and I can feel you, AB, on the Mariners. Imagine watching soccer where they're not even trying to score to win. So we'll probably see a bunch of nils, extra times, penalties coming as well. So I feel you on those Mariners.
Oh, dude, yeah, and I think. I don't mean to bring up a sore subject. I think the Diamondbacks let you down last night.
No, that wasn't. No, that was soup. That was soupy.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Like, dude, they had bases loaded. Yeah. Oh, that was brutal, man. Absolutely.
But I felt his pain on that one. Yeah, bases loaded, no outs, and they couldn't even get a sack fly home in a 2-2 game.
Stuff.
Frustrating.
Baseball's tough right now. It literally, it's always tough, but like right now, because you're looking into it more in depth and you're thinking, I got to have more plays. It's definitely tough. AB.
Yeah. So I will say on our home runs yesterday, we hit 3 out of 5 All right. So we hit 3 out of 5, and we were going in like we had Matt Olson. All right. Towards the end of the game, obviously he didn't hit it. And then we had Gunnar Henderson. And Gunnar Henderson got up, bases loaded with 1 out. Orioles were up, I think, 2-0. And he struck out looking, and then Adley like grounded out. It was just like, oh, it was brutal. But I mean, hitting 3 out of 5 home run plays, man, that was nice.
That late game was disgusting. Like I tried to watch a little bit of it and I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. This isn't my baseball. I'm not watching that. All right, let's go ahead and get into what our plays are. And Charles, if you don't mind, lead us off with your first one right here.
I'm going to focus on the Minnesota United versus Vancouver Whitecaps match tonight in the MLS. Vancouver, they make the trip off a huge comeback victory and winning 2 of their last 3, while Minnesota has lost 5 straight and only won once in the past 9 games. And now they are listed as the betting favorites. So I'm going to back Vancouver to get out to a strong start with the Whitecaps. First half team total over 0.5 as Minnesota has conceded a first half goal in 5 straight in 8 of their last 9 outings.
MLS is a very profitable league to follow. I know we tried for a while. I know a little bit last year I tried to kind of do the over the unders on that, and I'm not an expert at it. But good looks on that, Charles, for sure. All right, we're going to get your parlay in 1 second. I'm going to go around to the baseball and come back to you. But Rafael, you got a play that I love here. Let's go ahead and hear your first one.
Yeah, Reds Yankees over 8.5. This game yesterday went over 8.5. In the Yankees' last 10 games, 9 of them have gone over this total. I really like this play because Carlos Rodon, the pitcher for the Yankees, his last 3 outings, the Yankees pitching staff has given up 8 runs or more. So I just think the Reds will be able to put some runs on the board like they did yesterday. I think the Yankees will score. So I thought this number should have been like around 9, maybe the juice, maybe minus 120 on the over, but a little bit shocked on this one. And really quick on baseball. Don't forget, this is the only sport going in there. So everybody is betting baseball who's out there betting baseball. I'm betting baseball. Everybody in the crew is betting baseball. So if you see your number, get it. Because even though the books maybe raise their limits, but everyone is just betting one sport right now. So if you see your number, get it because it might not be there in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it is, especially when you come down to playoff football. You got to think the books are locked in on that because, they're having to be dialed in. Plus, they have all that data from the entire season. And so it's very tough. When there's one sport, they're locked in. And so you got to be very careful with that. I'm going to lock into my play, and I'm going to kind of play along the same the game as you are there. With Aaron Judge over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. The guy is red hot right now at plus 100. I'm going to take it. He's hit this in 6 of the last 7. He's had 3+ hits, runs, and RBIs. And he's going against a left-handed pitcher where he hits 317 and Andrew Abbott. But the other thing I look at with Aaron Judge is the potential walks because it's at a minus 270 for him to have 1 walk. And Andrew Abbott is expected to give up like 3 walks here. His number is ginormous, so I didn't put him into the walks parlay. But speaking of my walks parlay, I'm going to go with Adam Mazur right here. And you know what? He's going to give them up because he always does. 4 of the 5 outings just this season, he's given up 2+ walks. He missed against Washington last game. And then Trevor Rogers for the Miami, 9 of the last 11, he's had 2+ walks. And then going against a Boston team that ranks 6th versus left-handed pitching. The walks parlay, 2+ for each guy at plus 123. All right, let's keep it in baseball a little bit. AB, you're going back to the Orioles again.
All right, go back to the well, as we always do. Orioles every day. We're going to keep riding it, keep doing it. Whether we ride, fade, whatever. All right, we are going to go back to the exact plays that we had yesterday. Orioles-Mariners, first 5 under 3.5. Orioles-Mariners over 7 at minus 110. And you're probably asking, like my man Ninja is in the chat, like, why in the hell would we play the over in that game? All right, so producer man, if we could go to the slides here. Now, the weather, it's blowing in, but it really doesn't matter all that much in Seattle, to be honest with you. The thing to note here is that it's just, there's nothing really in our favor. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't look at this and be discouraged by any means. Now, let's look at the pitching matchup that we have today. So, for the Orioles, Dean Kramer, right-handed pitcher. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners, right-handed pitcher. Logan Gilbert, very good, very good, very good. But his record doesn't reflect it. He is a good pitcher. Now, take a look here. He will give up, a little bit of the home run ball. Dean Kramer definitely will. Strikeouts, yeah, in Logan's favor there. Walks per game are up. We're going to get some walks in this one. We're also going to have an umpire behind the plate with a tight box. And that is why I like playing the over today, because there are going to be opportunities. And yes, it was 2-0 last night, but I'm not lying to you when I say we were 2 hits away from that game having 9 to 10 runs. And you might think to yourself, what the hell are you talking about? Like, that game was awful. We had it. There were opportunities there. Now, we didn't get it, right? But 2 away. And those things are going to pop up again today. So I like playing the first 5 under because these starting pitchers can go. However, there is a great opportunity to play the line. Not play the teams, I'm playing the line because there is a good opportunity to do it. And we're not going to have a game to where we have bases loaded with 1 out 3 different times, and it's strikeout, 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 fly out, strikeout, strikeout. The odds are just not going to happen. So we're going to continue to ride it, continue to play these 2, and here we go.
AB is always a man of the people, and I'm going to cover you up for a second real quick, Raphael. But Josh saying, love the game preview, and then Rue coming in here right here, with 2 months DTL with AB. Everybody loves AB. It's hard not to love him, except for Raphael when I cover him up. All right, we're gonna come back and bookend this again with some MLS and team totals here. What you got, Charles?
Lastly, I have a MLS parlay that's going to be the Columbus Crew team total over 1.5 and NYCFC team total over 1.5, as I expect dominant performances from both home teams tonight.
All right, I love the team totals, and that's what I looked at a while back. And honestly, I am not the guy, and so I usually trust you. I'll be the guy who makes the plays. I'm just going to be a blind tailer for you, Charles, for sure, as probably a lot of our crew is. We just tell you, hoping that you're smarter than us, and usually we're right. So, all right, you know who's smart? Me and Raphael. We're going to get into a little bit of educate and entertain. All right, we had to send AB to the green room because, why not? He wanted a little bit of some food there. I think we had brisket this morning, and so that's where he's at.
Man.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I thought your doctor said you couldn't have it. So no, that's why.
It's probably true.
All right, let's get into a little bit of NBA talk right here. And obviously, the LeBron stuff is coming out where he just signed the big contract for 2 years for $104 million. I don't want to go all the way into LeBron. So that's really not the topic, but it kind of parlays into what we have to talk about. And that is like the changing of the guard, Raphael. I look at, Curry with Golden State, LeBron with the Lakers, but also you talk about Kawhi and James Harden there with the Clippers, and then KD with the Phoenix Suns. There were no big free agents that went over to any of those teams, whether they had the cap space or not. And all these other younger teams, the upcoming superstars, really got those big free agents. And so are we seeing a real changing of the guard right now in the NBA?
Oh, big time. I mean, you just said that all the stuff that we don't even need to say again. LeBron, I don't care about his contract 2 years. I'm already looking forward to him not playing anymore because I think the whole league is going to change. We're not going to see the big 3 anymore, which LeBron created the big 3 and stuff like, well, not really the Boston Celtics back in the day, but he brought it back. I just think we're going to see a new face of the league. Is it going to be Wemby? Is it going to be Ant-Man? I mean, I think we're ready to see that. And we saw that with free agency, especially with Paul George. He had many different chances to go to teams that already had big stars. He chose to go to Philadelphia, where he can match up with other players and in a weaker conference in the Eastern Conference. So, yeah, I think it's totally switched. So I think Curry will still be a name just because of how he plays the game, shoots the 3-ball and all that. But the LeBrons, the KDs and all that, I think that era is going to start dwindling around. We're going to see these big guys coming in. I think the face of the league has to be right now Wemby, just because of how he's handling himself through media, learning English right away, speaking to all the media, stuff like that. I think right now, if I was the NBA, I would put it all in on Wemby.
Wow. So obviously you have Anthony Edwards that is having some off the court issues. It's not really as polarizing as it was here in Memphis with Ja Morant, because Ja having his signature shoe and becoming the real face of the young kids. And I know just because he's a highlight reel and he's had his off court issues, I think Wemby is a good call. You also have Luka, but Luka doesn't embrace, just America as much, because, it just seems like he's like more of the of Joker type, where he just kind of just get off my lawn a little bit. Like, that's what he screams to me. But also look at people like Klay Thompson, who his dad was completely upset that he kind of chose the Dallas Mavericks over the Lakers. But I think we're seeing a real changing of the guard, especially, SGA and OKC. John Memphis, Anthony Edwards with Minnesota. If you look at who potentially could be in the top 4 of the Western Conference next year, you're going to see potentially maybe Denver join again, but it's going to be OKC, Minnesota, Memphis, possibly. You even could see Zion take the Pelicans that high. I don't know if that's a little too high for them, but I just think there's so much young talent that's starting to blossom right before our eyes. And one of those is Wemby. And I think he's going to be helped out big time by CP3. All right, let's get into. Go ahead.
Let me jump in on Luka. I totally agree with you on Luka and all that. I always compare when you have a superstar that's not here in the United States, and I always compare it to Triple G. I'm going back in the boxing days when he was fighting Canelo. Some of the Mexican fans were happy and cheering for Triple G because he learned English and he was learning Spanish and his native language to try to get the U.S. and Mexican boxing fans on his side. I think that's what some foreign players need to do if you really want to be that Americanized and be more favorable. I mean, it's just baby steps. But I always favor when I look at athletes like Luka and stuff like that. I always remind myself of how Triple G did it in boxing when he was learned not his native language, English and Mexican, Spanish, just to learn to compare for both worlds.
Yeah, for sure. And that's honestly, it's a sport that I don't get into, but the fact that you embrace yourself into the culture is big with anybody, especially if you come into a city. When you have a new player that comes into a city, if they kind of embrace your culture, it goes for, far beyond what anything else you could possibly do with what you say or whatever. It's really just embracing that culture. So good thing there. All right, let's get into our second topic. We're going to talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball. And honestly, you brought this up, and so I want to make sure we go to you first. But you're talking about, Judge and Ohtani being the obviously runaway favorites so far within the American National League for the MVP. But I want to ask, is there any sleeper out there that you see? Because the league is filled with so many good players, but sometimes it's a little bit quiet right now in the major leagues.
The reason I wanted to talk about this, it's July 3rd. We're not even in the All-Star break yet. We just saw last night Ohtani hit a ball in his foot and screamed so loud that everyone on TV heard it. Ohtani and Judge can get hurt today, tomorrow, and all that. And let's say they're out for the season. That does not mean they're going to be the MVP if they're out July 4th and not playing for the rest of the year. So kind of look at these sleepers. I love Jose Ramirez from Cleveland. Cleveland's probably going to win that division pretty easy. And you're telling me I can get 25-1? Again, Judge right now, easily winning for the American League MVP. No ifs, ands, or buts. But at the same time, let's say he does get hurt and he can't play anymore. We see him with Atlanta. I just think look at some of these players that can move up quickly if Judge or Ohtani go up. Jose Ramirez, for me, has to be a nice shot at 25-1. And then again, I'm not saying I want Ohtani to get hurt or Judge to get hurt and all that. That's not what I'm saying. But this is sports. Anything can happen in a blink of an eye with an injury or something like that. So Jose Ramirez for Cleveland at 25-1, I think it has to be a good steal.
I literally thought you were going to say Gunnar Henderson. Like, I just thought Gunnar was going to be
the price. Right. The price of Jose Ramirez. I'm not saying Gunnar Henderson. Oh, I agree. I would grab some Gunnar Henderson money as well, just because they could easily win that division. Yep. Even if Judge still plays, they could easily win that division. But for the price right now, 25-1 on Jose Ramirez, who has the White Sox in their division, I just thought you couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, he was going to be my pick as well, because I didn't think anybody would go that direction for Jose Ramirez. So good looks on that. Another guy, and Mighty Ice just brought him up, was Bryce Harper here. At plus 800 for Bryce Harper. I know he's hurt right now, but honestly, that could help him in the long run, because he's going to get a little bit of rest. He's going to be able to build his body back up. And when you come down to the MVP at the end of the season, it's who's the hottest usually, whose team is playing well. Philadelphia is playing some of the best baseball. Even now, they're still playing well. And so I look for a guy and Bryce Harper who could come back from the injury list And then once he does, if he gets back hot again and starts heating up, he could kind of take off, especially if there's an injury to, Ohtani somewhere. Just like you said, it's going to take an injury to take one of these guys out, because I don't see Ohtani or Judge slowing down anytime soon, because those dudes are just some of the best in baseball. Anything else you got?
Love the Harper at 8-1, and I'm going to throw a really wide one. William Contreras, the catcher for the Brewers, 65-1 right now. And let's face it, when the season started, I didn't think the Brewers were able to score runs, but they push runners through. They steal a lot. Yelich is hitting on the ball opposite field. That gives Contreras chances to put some RBIs on the board. 65-1. They're probably going to win a division unless the Cardinals get hot. I don't see the Cardinals making any move during a trade deadline. I think the Cubs might be sellers than buyers right now. But for the Milwaukee Brewers, I'll take Contreras at 65-1.
Yeah, you're looking at guys that have the value, right? But also you're looking at teams that have good records. And so that's the first thing I look at. Who's on top, right? And that at that point, you have the record, I guess, argument, if you want to say. At that point, you look at stats, and then you can kind of say, hey, here's the value because of the odds, but also they have a chance, because there's some guys that just don't have a chance because their team record is just so bad. All right. Our record yesterday was killer in here, talking about the home run odds for sure. So let's go ahead and give you the whip around and talk home runs. All right, we have Charles and AB back from the green room. And Charles, you're obviously killing this. And we know why you really wanted to go to the green room. It's not because of the food anymore. It's because of the time to look at this. So who you got here?
I'm just going to go with the chalk. I'll take Aaron Judge plus 200 in this matchup as well. I expect runs in this game as well. But a couple honorable mentions, Yandy Diaz and Alex Bregman. But for show purposes, Aaron Judge plus 200.
Anytime you bring up the honorable mentions, I'm like, all right, let me perk up my ears real quick. Raphael, who you got here?
Love the Diaz play that he just says. I'm going to take Big Pete Alonso plus 275. Now that Ohtani said he's not going to be in a home run derby, we all know what Pete Alonso does in the home run derby. So right now he's warming up for the home run derby. So I'll take him again to go lower. He went yard yesterday. I'll take the plus 275 to hit it again.
Weren't there some changes in discussions to the home run derby? Like there's going to be a pitch limit. Does anybody know that? AB, do you know that? Okay.
Don't know.
I heard rumors that there was going to be some changes to the home run derby. We'll get into that, obviously, as we close in on that. But AB, who you got here?
All right. So first off, we have to say, if Pete Alonso is in it, he has the best pitcher throwing to him. That guy just pump strikes, dude, right down the middle. He's phenomenal. Look, I'm going to go Anthony Santander for the Orioles here, plus 375. Yeah, Logan Gilbert, I mean, it is what it is. But Santander, man, for the last 6 games, he has been seeing the ball incredibly. Like, he was legitimately, I believe, the only one with a hit, like, for like 7 innings last night for the Orioles. He had 2 of them. Like, even in that game, my man was bringing it, right? And he's been doing it in the series before that as well at home. So I'm going to go Santander here, man, plus 375. I don't hate Ozuna either, but, yeah, give me Santander.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the big bear, Marcell Ozuna, just because I feel like he's due. And he was swinging such a hot bat, and it is heating up, especially in Atlanta. And so I think that Marcell Ozuna possibly going whammo would be a good look. All right, if you missed the beginning of the show, if you missed our picks, we'll give you 10 seconds or less. We're going to go around and give you a little bit of what we had and a little bit of a nugget. Charles, if you'll lead us off, please.
MLS. We're going to take the Vancouver Whitecaps first half team total over 0.5. I expect them to get out to a fast start in this one. And then we have a MLS parlay. Columbus Crew team total over 1.5 goals, and NYC FC or New York City Football Club team total over 1.5 goals.
All right, Raphael, let's go to baseball.
I'm taking the Reds Yankees over 8.5. The Yankees last 10 games, 9 of them have gone over this total. So I think we see more runs across the plate today.
All right, I'm going to go with Aaron Judge in that same game, over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's swinging a hot bat, and anytime he's going up against a guy, it's a left-handed pitcher hitting 317 on the year, I'm going to go with Aaron Judge. And then the walks parlay at plus 123, Trevor Rogers at 2+, and Adam Mazer at 2+. Both of these guys regular give up walks against teams that are looking to walk. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and go with the plus 123 here. All right, AB, round us out here.
Orioles-Mariners, first 5, under 3.5 runs, -105. Orioles-Mariners, over 7, -110. Quick reminder, everyone has access to the absolutely free Driving the Line Google Drive. I'll drop the link in the chat. Make sure to bookmark that. I've already dropped in today's weather report and today's pitching report for the Orioles at Mariners, and we'll continue to do that every day. So, yeah, everybody, you don't have to be a member. You don't have to be anything. You can be first day here. You have free access to it and will forever. So I'll drop the link in there. You can find all that. Do your research. Have some fun.
All right, went 4-2 yesterday. Looking to do the same again today. And so what a great show. Raphael, Charles, obviously you're going to be here tomorrow on the 4th of July. I don't think, Raphael, are you here tomorrow?
Yes, hot dog eating contest odds coming my way.
And we're doing a hot dog eating contest live on the show tomorrow, right? Isn't that what we're doing?
When is the hot dog contest?
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
I think 11 o'clock, I think, or noon, or one of those 2 times.
Yeah. Nice.
Could be fun. All right.
Somebody else has a chance.
Yep, new champ.
Finally. The odds will be out. Definitely. I would assume that Raphael's going to have something from that hot dog eating contest tomorrow on the show for sure. But Charles, Raphael, great job today. All right, AB, let's close in on that closing bell. All right, let's go ahead and hear from the clue replay of the day. Who they choose, AB?
All right, so first off, Everett, yeah, you had to do it. You had to do it. I would have done it too. You couldn't resist that one at all. The crew's going. Astros, Blue Jays, over 8. Feeling it. Solid number there. 2 teams looking to hit the ball. Blue Jays been on a tear, man, and the Astros been doing it as well. So, yep, Astros, Blue Jays, over 8, man.
All right, Astros, Blue Jays. Should be a fun game. Hopefully it's a fun game. We're not watching that Mariners game like we were yesterday. That thing was ugly. Good job, AB. All right, let's go ahead and finish out the show. And what a show it was. Obviously, if we can get that, there we go, producer man. Let's go ahead and have a good 4th of July. We'll definitely be here tomorrow. But today is Wednesday, the day before. If you have some things, if you got to go do some grocery shopping, go ahead and get it all done. But for the guys, for producer man, always the best in the business behind the scenes, to Charles, Raphael, AB, and myself stepping in for Coach. We actually missed on having Coach's video today. And so I apologize. Producer man, do we want to play it? I know this is like the closing thing, but we could play Coach's video if you have it. He wants to hit on the LeBron stuff. I know this is completely out of way, but should we do that?
Oh, what's up, DTL Universe? LeBron James continues to be the gift that just keeps on giving. My goodness, we see his son, Bronny. Well, he addressed the media yesterday. I won't even touch on that because he's too young, and it's not his fault. But I've been saying for several days, weeks, that if LeBron James really wants to win and attract other free agents, he'd take $1 million. But according to Woj, that's not going to happen. LeBron James, 2 years, $104 million, over $50 million a year. Good for you. Cash it out. Wait, you're already a billionaire. I thought you said you wanted to play with your son. And greatness, the guys that you love, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, greatness to them means championships. You can't get one single solitary player to come play with you in L.A. Klay Thompson going to Dallas for several reasons. They need a spot-up three-point shooter, state income tax, all of that. They laid out a plan. Jason Kidd came to L.A. What did you do, LeBron? You're my 3rd favorite athlete of all time, and you're making the biggest mistake of your career. It all happened for you. Everything happened for you. You got your son. You drafted your son, but yet you have nobody to play with. So I hope this season is fun for you, going 30-52, because that's what's going to happen. It could have been so different, but you refused to take less money because that's not what superstars do. Well, this superstar is going to be an under 500 team. Great for the legacy.
I couldn't pass that up. We got a late notice because Coach had to was able to take a break to be able to get that video in. And so right when I saw we were able to get it, I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to play it for all of you. And so Coach always coming in with the fire. You can't pass it up. And so anytime you can hear Coach go off on a LeBron or anything, you got to put it up on the show. So, all right, that is it for the show. For producer man Charles, AB, Raphael, I am Daniel. If you need anything from us, please reach out. But check us out on socials all day, as we will be there. Be nice to those around you, especially firework time. Don't blow off your fingers. Let's have a good day.